For some tea, then you reminded me.
Ladies and gentlemen, happy Wednesday. Let's get the conversation started, shall we? Would you please put your hands together wherever you are for Matt Hepburn and Christen McGarry from Your Mates Brewing Company. Thank you very much. And Bernie Craven as well. Bern, we'll get to you in just a few moments, but you're from Waste Free Systems, BC. Great to have you on the couch. There's a lot to get through tonight, guys, in relation to crafting a circular economy. But can we start with Matt and Christen from Your Mates, which is where we are. Boys, thanks for having us home at your joint tonight.
Cheers, Toddy.
It's always a pleasure to have you in the brew house.
Yes, and I promise you I won't leave tonight without sorting out the bar tab. Bernie, my wallet's in the car, so we'll work it out later.
It's dangerous.
One from last week as well.
That'd be really good. Boys, let's get together and have this conversation. I met you guys about 6 years ago, and in the last 6 years, the business has grown from you guys brewing beers for fun and sharing with your mates and your partners in a garage at the rental unit in Moffat's at Moffat Beach here on the Sunshine Coast. It's grown to what it is today. Within 6 years, it's incredible. Matty, how did the whole journey begin?
Well, we're still for fun. We're still brewing for fun. I don't know how to brew beer, so I can't really stick to that motto. But, it started, I was a project manager in construction, and Christen was a school teacher, and we didn't know each other for a bar or so. Moved in with each other, and I'd started working for my brother down at Drift. I wanted to go back to Mexico. I wanted to, I was still in my youth. In those days, I think I was 22, and just go back travelling, and moved in with Christen, started working in the bar, and Christen, he saw me coming home from these late nights, having a good time, and he was, I think you were teaching 6-year-olds, so,
Grade 6.
pouring beers or teaching grade 6s. So he quit his job, and we were just having a fat old time at the bar, and this thing, craft beer, kind of popped up into our world, and I guess it wasn't just the flavour, but it was more so the people in the industry. We're starting to meet owners of brewers, and we started this beer club, and I ended up having all my ex-school teachers come to just drink beer with me, which was a little bit weird, but it was just a really good, positive industry that we just kind of gravitated to, I guess. And
I think originally we had plans to open like a craft beer bar here on the Sunshine Coast.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
We had too many mates who were doing the same thing.
Yeah. All of our friends run bars, so we thought, well, okay, like rather than go in competition with them, maybe we can turn them into our customers.
Let's build a brewery.
I think, that idea has been probably bandied between mates that many times, and I think it was a very similar setup as what we're sitting on.
Less comfy couch.
I think the middle table between the two couches was actually a lazy Susan.
Yes.
The best.
Just beer on and pass it around. COVID, obviously. We thought, like you said, naively, how hard could it be? We could start our own brewery.
Can't be that hard, brew beer, sell beer. We drink beer, we know a lot of beer drinkers. It's, pretty simple.
And we were absolute fools.
And as we say, though, if you pour it, they will come. Life is way too short to drink bad beer. You guys have cornered the market with some incredible types of beer. What we will do is get to those in just a few moments, boys. But Matty, you've continued to build this business on some incredible, amazing founding principles. Can you share some of those with us? Because it was about brewing good times, but also looking after the community, and you wanted to do it in a sustainable manner, and that's what's so good about it.
Well, I think for us, we from having one staff member, now we've got over 20 permanent staff. We really it was a big growth period for us, and we really wanted to have our staff to recognise and value what we value. So we kind of put three phrases on down. First is mateship, the second is inclusivity, and the third is protecting our natural playground. You know, I've grown up on the Sunshine Coast, and you know, I really appreciate the natural wonders. You know, a lot of I don't think people take for granted, but kind of forget that there's these areas around that, you know, is on our doorstep. And I've been very privileged to grow up in an environment where I've been encouraged to go out and explore and enjoy these amazing places. So, you know, with Christen, we made it an absolute detail in our business plan to make sure that, yes, obviously we need to try and survive and grow a business, but also give back to the community and give back to the environment that we build our business on. So, and
you boys do so much stuff for charity. I've seen that firsthand. I've been to a lot of charity events. In fact, I just tell my wife that every time I'm here, it's a charity event and it's charity planning. I met a lovely lady yesterday. She's a bit of a legend, actually. You guys know her well. Jodie from Reef Check Australia.
Yes.
You guys are ambassadors. How did that come about, McGarry?
So the guys at Reef Check are basically building a community of businesses that are looking after their playground and running their business in a sustainable way. So we had to tick a bunch of boxes to show that, yeah, we did care about the impact that our business is having on the environment, and they gave us a tick of approval from their regard. I think Matt probably has a bit closer relationship with the guys at Reef Check.
Yeah, Jo, she is a legend, and when you talk to Jo, you know, she so passionate about, you know, especially this backyard being, I think they look after a lot of the southeast Queensland, but this particular Magimba area, they survey the reefs and look at how much rubbish is going down, and straight away, as soon as we met her, they do the beach cleanups from Point Cartwright over Turtle hatching season, and I think that's what everyone forgets about. You know, you go down to the beach and it's clean, but it doesn't just magically happen. There is a lot of litter down there. You know, you go up to Double Island Point and you look out of this, you know, amazing landscape that's just dolphins and whales and turtles underneath and blue ocean.
German backpackers in the surf, learning to surf.
It's amazing. And, you know, but unfortunately sometimes if you actually dig a little deeper and you look around, there's, you know, crazy amounts of microplastic, or there's, you know, glow sticks and lights and that are coming from the ocean, from the longliners or whatever it is. So organisations like Jodie from Reef Check, or, you know, Surfrider, or all these, there's so many out there that are really making steps forward to, one, find out where the plastics are coming from, and two, how can we stop those from endangering our environment. So
they're an amazing local charity, Reef Check Australia, and I believe the association, you know, takes care of business along the reef from Port Douglas all the way to the Sunshine Coast.
Yeah.
I don't want to say too much. I filmed a video with Jode yesterday. Two things came out of it. Old Woman Island, Magimba Island here on the Sunshine Coast, she rates as her favourite. But we all pretend that we don't have favourites. I say, I've got 4 kids, you boys know that. And I say there's no favourites. There's Noah, and not Noah times 3. But the point is, she just absolutely loves Old Woman and says the way we're looking after our coastline here on the sunny coast is to be commended. She also believes that there could be a megalodon, Christen McGarry. Yeah, so you've seen the movie Megalodon? Yeah. It's a megalodon with Jason Statham. She said that could be possible, but she didn't agree with that because there might be a megalodon living somewhere in the world's oceans. That means the movie Megalodon is a documentary.
It's not an Old Woman Island, is it? Because I'm a Magimba local now. I just moved in there and I'm not going in the water.
We only just got him in the water, mate. We only just got him in there.
Yeah, Shark Bay. Guys, it is Plastic-Free July, and that's something that we're well into now. The Sunshine Coast Council is really pumping that through everyone throughout the Sunshine Coast, and especially media organisations and local businesses have gotten on board. You guys have done some amazing stuff with how you package up your takeaway cans, or the cans that are in the cartons. Matty, talk us through that, because one of the big problems we had in the old days was when you get a 6-pack of beer, the actual 6-pack plackie that kept all the beers together.
Yes.
We're doing something different at Your Mates Brewery.
Yeah, and you know, you look at this and it is plastic. You know, there's no two words about it, but one, it is 100% recycled plastic, and two, it's 100% reusable. So for us and any brewery really, is the fact that you can reuse anything is amazing. So what the boys do, what we do is try and encourage the reuse of these pack tech. So what we've done is we're currently setting up, it's technologies seems simple, it's a lot harder, but we're bringing out these membership cards, and we will be trying to incentivize, because it's all good to say, hey, drop these in, we'll reuse them, save the environment. But what we want to do is take that a step further. And I guess we'll show it on the camera, but
it's a bit like cash for cans, isn't it?
Cash for cans, 100%. They stick in this. We'll reuse these 100 times over. So you take it off, most people chuck it away. For us, we'll just reuse that. 100%. So
we want people to bring them back.
Yes,
we've always had the little collection points, the drop-off points with no incentive at all, and people bring them back, and we're always surprised and really lights us up to see how much
people bringing stacks back.
If you offer a place for people to do good and to recycle and see that we're reusing it, they will use it.
Especially if the reward is beers.
Well, we're going to take a step
yes.
one inch further and really try and get everyone on board and offer something for the people who are going to bring back those back to.
And I have one of these cards already. It's a prototype, and I can tell you, everybody, it's made from 100% recyclable plastic. Is it made from?
We'll talk
about that later. Side note, I want to talk more about beers with you guys and what your plans are for the future. And we talk about crafting a circular economy. There's nothing goes to waste here at Your Mates Brewing. It doesn't at all. In fact, I was here 2 weeks ago and I bumped into Jeremy, who's a cattle farmer from Kin. We'll get to his story in a minute. But there's spent grain once you've done the brewing process, and McGarry will explain that further a little bit later on. But that gets fed to cattle. And then it gets, there's nothing goes to waste at all. Bernie Craven, let's go to you for a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, Bernie Craven, you're an incredible man. I'm just going to read this to the people. Bernie, former hairdresser, but once you're a hairdresser and a stylist and a barber, you always do, yeah. You are a circular economy innovator. You've identified an opportunity to take plastics and other waste from hairdressing salons and, wait for it, create prosthetic limbs for children in need around the world. Bernie Craven, I put it to you, the work you're doing makes Mother Teresa herself look like someone's cranky old nan. It's incredible what you're doing, mate. Tell us about yourself, your business, and how this all came about.
Well, I suppose my life as a circular economy type person was I wanted 9 kids. So I've had hand-me-downs my whole life. So everything's been reused in my family. And then my dad was one of these people that the hard rubbish collection had come out around the surrounding suburb, where everyone wanted the stuff they didn't want to use. And my dad would drive us around on the weekend, and I was the only one that would go with him. And we'd take stuff out of the bins and take it home, and we'd sort of reuse stuff and remake it. So that for me is it's sort of how I grew up. So it's sort of nearly like ingrained into me. It's a bit like living on, working on a farm, and it's ingrained into you that you like that lifestyle. So and then from there I sort of went on. Actually, I started life as a plumber, as a plumbing apprentice, and I just didn't like the guy I was working for. So and this mate of mine sort of said to me, I've got a mate that's a hairdresser. And he reckons there's plenty of women and plenty of money. So I thought, that's the life I had. So then I tried to find, a hairdressing salon to give me a job. And I ended up getting a job at the biggest hairdressing salon in Melbourne. So there were like 22 on the staff, 28 chairs in the salon. And it was a really great way to learn your craft. It was also where I became very aware of like all of the sort of waste that comes through a hairdressing salon.
Sure.
It was massive. So then I worked there, I finished my craft, and then I went travelling overseas with my wife, who's here tonight. So we were only in our early 20s, and we travelled the world for 2.5 years. We went across the Sahara on a motorbike, we got married in Rome, we did all sorts of stuff. But while I was on that sort of journey, I kept on noticing like all of this, waste, particularly in the sort of Asian countries and all that sort of stuff. So for me, it was it's something that I've always had my eye on. So when I came back, I started my own salon, and I've always been an environmental hairdresser. So I always separated my waste, and we created new tap heads to use less water in the salon, and I've always had buckets for the chemicals so they didn't go down the sink, and that was just stuff I did automatically. because
You're an environmental warrior.
yeah, sort of, and I've always been really, I've got 3 daughters, and when you're in the house, it used to be lit up like a bloody Christmas tree, and so I'm always trying to light switches off everywhere and everything. So it just sort of ingrained in me, and so anyway, with that first salon, we became very successful, but I was always had in mind about the environmental footprint that we were creating. So anyway, we decided we'd move up to the Sunshine Coast 25 years ago with our 3 daughters, and because this is, I just thought we wanted something better for them as a lifestyle, and what sort of better place for the Sunshine Coast? Close to the beaches, they all went to nippers, and all that sort of stuff, and I really enjoyed the lifestyle there. I started another salon in Caloundra, which is more successful than my Melbourne salon, and but still with the same vision, that we minimised our sort of footprint. And so I sold that about 8 years ago, and I started up an online training business because I did lots of education around the world and for product companies and things like that. Fashion weeks and all of that, which is really sort of cool. And then I sort of sold it, and I started up this online training. I was years ahead of my time. Facebook Live wasn't going then, so I thought, all right, I wasn't doing as well out of it as I thought. So, and I started again. Then I thought, I was watching what was happening with, the whole environment around, they didn't call it circular economy then. They called it, but sustainability. So I thought, all right, but why don't I do something about it? So I thought I'm going to build a company from the ground up. And I know the industry, I know the waste streams, and I developed a whole sort of smart bin system to separate waste. I was well known in the industry. I'd started up a charity, and we were doing sort of teaching hair cutting, over in Southeast Asian countries for quite a few years, and teaching people how to do hairdressing. And when I was over there, we worked in this area that we called the rubbish dump area. It was a hill as big as Budrum, and it was just rubbish. And there were 300,000 families living around the bottom of it. And I just looked, and there were these guys standing in the stream, which looked, the colour of the water was just really murky. These young guys were standing there all day washing plastic that got dumped there. And then they were bundling it up into 50 kilo packs, and they were then selling it for a few cents. And that's how they were making their money. And I just thought, this is just horrific. And so that's when then that's when I thought, all right, I really have to get serious about this. So.
Well, this is when you became a clean tech innovator.
Yeah.
That's the phrase, isn't it?
Yeah. And I suppose, then it was like, so very much it's, I deal with all sorts of waste from hairdressing salons, but plastics was the one thing that's a worldwide problem. It's only just become apparent because they were, with the aerial shot, satellite pictures of the plastic that was on the beaches and everything around the world, and all the islands and that, they were estimating it was a certain amount, and now actually they're finding out that it's 6 inches deep. So now they're saying it's actually 3 times that amount. Every bit of plastic that has been made is still here. Don't get me started on biodegradable, because all biodegradable means that it actually breaks down into tiny little pieces in the ground. So, but anyway, so that's where I sort of got on to. I thought, all right, well, I'm a solutions-driven person, and so how can plastic be reused? And so I didn't know anything about plastic. I was an absolute novice, so I went, Google is fantastic. It's where I get most of my ideas from. So I went looking, and I found a sort of charity called Enable, which make, with 3D printing prosthetics.
Well, this is the story that's so incredible, boys. Like, it's amazing.
So 3D printing prosthetics around the world, which is fantastic. So I thought, oh wow, that's really good. So I connected with those guys, when I started, then I had to learn about 3D printing because I didn't know anything about that as well. So then I started to learn about 3D printing. So I've got a couple of 3D printers, and I started to learn all about that. 3D printing community is fantastic because they're so welcoming. Even if you sound like a dickhead, they'll still answer your questions. How do I do this? They go, it's like duh, and they just go, yeah, mate, you just do this, this, and this. And I wasn't interested in making some little, figurine or something like that. I thought if I'm going to do something, it's got to be for a reason,
And something hugely significant.
Yeah. So, but they'd have a lot of failed prints, and they were crushing the prints up, and then turning it with an extruder back into filament, which you use in the 3D printing machine. So I thought, all right, why can't you do that with recycled plastic? So I started to take the plastic bottles that I was collecting. I've got the basic sort of gear. I've now got a plastic shredder at the warehouse. So we sort it all in the warehouse. It comes back, we sort it into all the different categories. And then we clean it, we put it through the shredder and turn it into sort of tiny little shredded pieces. We put it in the extruder and we create 3D filament with it. So we got a lot of media last year. Everyone from the project to Today's Show, you name it, we got it. We had all the politicians, Leanne Enoch, David Christopher. No one wants to give me money, but they all want to come and get the story.
And shake your hand and have a photo.
So we've had worldwide press, National Geographic Kids, the lot. So it's sort of got it out there about what we were doing, and so then next thing I had University of Technology Sydney. They rang me and said, look, they've got a Rapido Social, they're engineering, sort of socially minded type department. So we got a small grant, and they were testing plastics for me. Sunshine Coast Uni had a student there who was intern with testing plastics. So we've been, working now, and we're really in that testing phase. So the prosthetic or assistive devices that we've been making, they're not totally made out of recycled plastic yet, but that's where we're going with them,
Well, that's the plan, that's the vision, isn't it, for waste-free systems?
And I want to be able to create them so that, at the moment we're giving them away for kids for free, and we've got a couple of recipients. I've also been invited onto the Bionics Queensland Challenge at the moment. I'm not doing much, I'm just putting a little bit in there. We've got all of these really professional people. I'm the only non-science person in there, but I'm putting my bid in because I'm on the ground and I know how things are working. So that's sort of really great. And we're actually in the semi-finals with that, which is really fantastic. So, but yeah, and tomorrow night I'm actually on the panel. University of Technology Sydney. They're actually doing in their protospace. They've got 30 teams doing this 3D printed projects for sustainability. So, I'm now getting this collaboration happening where people are helping me move forward. So, and that's so we've developed this circular economy with the businesses that are involved with us, and they come on board because they like what we're doing. And it's just like you guys. It's sort of, we're trying to create a culture. So, I don't want everybody on board. I want the people who care on board.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what we're getting. It's just like your culture here. You want people that like what you do, and it's exactly the same for me. Businesses that come to us, they ring up and they go, we actually really like what you do. We want to actually be part of that. That's how we grow. And so the more businesses we get on board, the more of that technology we can actually do, and all of the extra little bits that sort of add in there just help us on our way. I'm totally self-funded with everything we do, but I just do it because I enjoy it. And
you're a game changer, Bernie Craven. When I look around the three of us, I don't want to say too much about my beard because I know with a bit of ginger and a bit of ash blonde, it looks like a possum set up shop on my face tonight. But I mean, you are the only guy without a beard, but you're a stylish guy. So is that sending a message of beards out?
I'm sure he's trimmed a few beards in his time, though.
You would have.
I have trimmed a few beards, and I am actually a qualified barber as well as a hairdresser. So I did that in the early days. But
could you wax my back? No, that's a personal question for later.
I wouldn't do that because there's no reuse for the actual wax of the hair. It's bodily fluid. You can't do anything with it.
Of course.
Under the bin, sorry, mate.
They're natural body oils, and well, you know the story, Bernie Craven. If your dad doesn't have a beard, you got two mums. But we'll move on from that. We do want to talk about whether the mullet is back. That's more of a hair fashion type thing. You are a serial collaborator, mate, and what you're doing, as I said before, we don't throw a game changer around, willy-nilly in these conversations. You are an essential part of crafting a circular economy here on the Sunshine Coast. The lads from Your Mates are also serial collaborators. You guys get involved in so much stuff. I did mention earlier, I bumped into Jeremy in the main driveway here in Warana at Technology Drive, which, by the way, is just up the road from the bottle community, so you can do some recycling there and help out.
Yes.
My daughter's doing that at the moment. She's trying to get a rip surf. It's like a really cool ripstick, but anyway, we're saving up for that. But you guys have been doing some incredible things, and when you brew the beers, we'll talk to the master brewer, Christen McGarry, when you brew that, there's nothing left. Nothing goes to waste, really, does it, mate? Including the spent grain.
No, definitely. So if you look at these tanks behind us, and 4,000 litre tank, we have about 2 kilos of yeast, about 20 kilos of hops, and then about 700 kilos of malted barley.
So hang on, is this a recipe to make Larry? Because I'm going to write it down, because you're quite secretive of it.
Yeah.
Carlos, can you write that down, mate? 700k. Yeah, we'll get to that later.
That's the IP.
And that's the biggest product that we have. So we extract all the sugar from the grain, and that's what the yeast consumes to produce the alcohol and the CO2. And that needs a place to go. And luckily, it is like caviar for cattle, pigs, sheep, any kind of farm animals. We have 3 local farmers that we side stream that grain to. And when the truck turns up at the farm, the cows come running. They absolutely love the stuff. And so the farmers are more than happy to come down here and take the grain off our hands. We need to get rid of it. It turns really quickly and stink up the whole brewery if it's not off-site. Quick smart. And then we actually have these cattle farmers with cattle with Your Mates Brewhouse's name on it. So we're looking to actually bring some of that meat back into the brewery instead of just buying it from our local butcher and meat suppliers, that we can actually feed the cattle that we then feed to our customers.
Well, when I met Jeremy a couple of weeks ago in the driveway here at Your Mates, he's the cattle farmer from Kinkin, and he just told me the whole thing. He goes, mate, my cattle just lap this stuff up. They love it. And suddenly I was thinking, when we talk about Larry too, Larry is the Larry Pale Ale, which has really made Your Mates Brewing famous. I'm going to say around the galaxy. I'm just going to say that, boys. Like, from the lads who started 6 years ago brewing beers for fun and good times with mates in the garage at Moffat Beach to, there are bottle shops in Perth, all over Australia who are just desperate to get the beers. But I was saying, if you're feeding this to the cattle, Larry Pale Ale infused T-bones. I can't think of anything better, to be honest. And Matty, you've had some of the T-bones.
Yeah, Jezza dropped a couple of T-bones off. He dropped some corned meat off as well, which the boys have just started banging out some house-made pastrami, which is top notch on our new Rubens. So yeah, I mean, you can't really get much better than that. Is giving something and then having it come back to the house is it's something pretty special. And I think that's what we're all. I am trying to convince McGarry that we've got these. This is the next level. This is my next project. I don't brew the beer. I just come up with these crazy ideas, but we got all these the grain bags. So 700 kilos goes. How many grain bags goes into a 700 kilo batch?
25 kilo per bag. So yeah, someone can do that.
7 times 4, 210 bags, is it? No? 210?
It's 4 per 100, so 4 times 7 is 20.
Let the ex-school teacher.
21.
I'm not real smart like that, but I got a ute and I can help you lift heavy stuff and move on the weekends.
But yeah, we can have, so that's just one batch, we can have up to
There's hundreds of them.
1.5 to 2 ton, almost 100 bags of really strong material that we're actually looking for someone to take those off our hands. I take them home and use them as bin bags, but we don't create that much.
You don't have a baby yet either. The baby dive is...
So that's the next step, McGarry.
That's the next step. So we have taken them up the beach before and used them as clean-up bags. So last time Reef Check did clean up a point cartwright, we used them there. We just want to see another use for them. And that's the thing with our business, like it's just been growing so quickly and so constantly, like we have to just take a step back and focus on small projects. So, the grain is a project. The next project we'd like to do are the grain bags. We'd like to look at the water as well. Like we already recycle and bring the water that we use to cool down the beer becomes the water that we use in the next batch. And we've just put a big solar system up on the roof.
I was about to say renewable energy. You've just whirled a huge solar system, which is perfect right here on the brew house. You just put that up on the roof.
Yeah, 100 kilowatts up here, and so the whole brew house during the day is off the grid, and we're actually pumping stuff back into the grid, which is just an amazing thing for us to have achieved, and it's a project that we've been dreaming about for so long, and we're so excited. We've got it up on the screen in the brew house. You can see how much the solar is producing, how much we're using, and then how much is going back into the grid. And
it's really cool.
We're even pretty excited for summertime when this shed gets quite hot. Hopefully we get some of that sun off the roof. And,
Makes people drink quicker though.
Hopefully make it a little bit cooler in here.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think just touching back, like with the bags, and which it goes back to what Bernie's, like what you're bringing up about the collaboration aspect. Where we can't solve all the problems, so that's what we're kind of reaching out is who has a use of this product. Who has a use for this plastic, or who has a. There has to be people out there, and there has to be some kind of infrastructure that is out there. Where like. Google is awesome, but there has to be something that these byproducts of manufacturing or business. There has to be some kind of business or some kind of bright-minded individual that has a use for it, and a constructive use that whether it turns a profit or not is sustainable and can fund itself, because that's where we fall down as as an economy. We're always pushing forward for profit, but in the end it's going to help the environment. We did have about 2,000 bags upstairs, and I had a use for them, but
sack races.
Well, the little bits of grain wasn't helping out with any kind of vermin problems that we don't have in this facility. So we had to throw them out, and it was a really big shame for me to personally do that. So if someone has an idea, I'll start collecting again, and I'm sure. There's little projects like that it has to come back to collaboration, because in the end we try our best to be sustainable in our business. No plastic straws. That's easy. Take the straws away. No, grow up. You don't get have a cardboard straw. But these are kind of bigger projects that we would really like to tackle. But we just need some help.
Well, and the thing is, Matty Hepburn from Your Mates, this is part of the conversation that we're having, that the council has put on for us, and that's why we're here tonight. It's all about crafting that circular economy, and in particular with a sustainable reduce, reuse, recycle. I mean, we've been saying this for 10, 15 years. The man that you've met tonight, Bernie Craven, is the perfect partner, I reckon, to help you, because he's a serial collaborator. We've established that, to help you guys move into that next level. Bern, you would know people. Is there anyone in particular, Bernie Craven from Waste Free Systems, that you would give a shout out to while we're live across the galaxy on the World Wide Web?
Well, someone who I've just been doing a little bit of collaboration with is No-Tox Surfboards, which you can see up the back there. And so Louise from No-Tox, we've been in discussions of late because they're sustainable surfboards.
Oh, how good is Louise? Louise tops.
Awesome, and so the way they're making the boards is sort of fantastic, So I'm now looking at the whole process, and I'm happy to actually start to sort of look at your bags and go, all right, what can we do there? And because I'm looking and going, all right, well, they have a specific rating they have to keep for sustainability, and they need sort of solutions, and so I'm looking at it at the moment. We've got flax material to decide what to do. I've got a bit of a solution for that, I think, and they're plastics. I've got a plastic guy in Brisbane. So,
what about pants? What about fashion? Can we, with the boys' bags, is there some sort of cool fashion? Remember hammer pants from the 90s? You can't touch this. And then parasilk material. You remember John Howard used to wear that stuff?
I may not remember, but they used to make these shoes with the soles of the shoes were old tyres.
Yeah, right.
Years ago. I can't remember the name of them, but anyway.
That is brilliant.
You might be able to turn them into a shoe. Who knows? I mean, you don't know.
But you're the man to point the boys in the right direction, and this is part of that collaboration. And again, crafting the circular economy and getting the conversation started, Bern.
Yeah, I mean, I just, I'm happy.
We can storm at your place, can't we?
My warehouse is like a tiny in comparison to yours.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Like a solution.
Over a couple of beers.
Yeah.
A poignant question to ask the master brewer from Your Mates Brewing Company, Christen McGarry. Mate, because you're self-taught. I mean, you've gone and learnt from some of the masters. There was the incredible German brewer. Was it inland? Was it
Baffle Creek
of Rock Vegas?
Bert from Baffle Creek.
Yeah, Bert. Now, because we're live and it's a bit of a family thing, you can't tell the entire story, and there's still that legal thing with me, with Bertie. But apart from that, Bert from Baffle Creek, you did learn from him as a bit of a master, but otherwise you're self-taught.
Oh, I mean, it's been a hard slog just trying to learn as much as I can from as many places as I can. I love the parallels that I hear from Bernie in the 3D printing community. I definitely see those parallels in the craft beer community. We're all, I guess, fighting the good fight. We're all trying to turn people on to good beer, and everyone is so forthcoming in our community. And we all just want all the businesses to make better beer, and so we all share information, we help each other out, we catch up every couple of months with all the Sunshine Coast brewers, and it's social. We're all friends, and we just want to see everyone making good beer. And so, I mean, yeah, you could say I'm self-taught, but you could just say that the craft beer industry has taught me, and the love of beer has carried me through.
Well, the great thing too about all of you guys getting together is, you would say every other brewery here on the Sunshine Coast. And by the way, wherever you are in Australia, tune in right now. Come and join us. Come and visit us, unless you're from Victoria. But we'd love to have you back when that's going to be okay. That's the sort of point, isn't it? But yeah, come and join us because we've got some great things to show you as far as our beautiful Sunshine Coast goes. But a lot of the breweries, pretty much all of them, have the same mentality that we have here at Your Mates, and that's how do we brew better beer? How do we get people involved? And the good thing about this is it's a cool product with a really great message as well. It's about the sustainability and about promoting, great environmental practices. People who come and drink beers here, they're environmental warriors. If they start recycling, they're environmental warriors. We got a few questions from you, so thank you very much for getting involved. We might just quickly have a look at Plastic Free July, because the boys are doing a heap of stuff. Bern, we got some more suggestions from you as well. But we want to recognise some of our local single-use plastic-free solution innovation champions. And we've got a stack of them on the Sunshine Coast. These people are actively creating opportunities for folk to avoid single-use plastics or to create circular solutions for would-be waste products. Kelly Lavery from Struckit. Now, Kel was last year's 2019 Sunshine Coast Business Women's Network winner, the Sustainable Businesswoman of the Year. So well done to you, Kel Lavery. We'd like to give you a tip of the hat. Also, Sam Spunner, Sammy from Cinchies. She won the exact same award in 2015 for the Sustainable Businesswoman of the Year. Ellie de Graaf from Go for Zero was she was a finalist last year in 2019. So well done, Ellie. And a great long-term local circular economy solutions champion is our mate Helen Andrews and her community sharing marketplace platform called Spare Harvest. So Google Spare Harvest and get around it. This is what the conversation's about. We're trying to say, hey, can you come and help us craft a circular economy? We've got some great questions, boys. Can I get these out? These are from the people watching
Bring it on.
around the globe, just here on the Sunshine Coast. Question from Gillian, or it could be pronounced Gillian. So either way, Gillian, she says, can the grain bags be used for prosthetic limbs? Bernie Craven, you're the guy to answer that one.
Well, until I find out what they're made of, I can't answer that.
It's quite, it's like it's got two layers. It's a flaxy outside and
it could be
a soft plastic inside.
Nylon, it depends.
Yeah.
I would say possibly not. Because it's got to be a specific type of material. So.
But worth the investigation.
Investigation, yeah.
And Gillian, brilliant. So thank you. Gillian may end up picking up $100 to spend here.
Thanks for the question.
It's a great question. Of course, we want you to also get involved. And if you yourself are doing something amazing on the Sunshine Coast as far as recycling and sustainability, let us know. Or if you want to job in a mate, like even if it's your neighbour or something, your neighbour, Bernie Craven, loves you. What are you doing to help out your neighbour? There's a bloke next door and he just loves everything you're doing. He's very supportive, yeah? I don't know, that's what the girls told me earlier.
He does, yeah.
And mullets, mate, are they back? Business up front, party down the back? I mean, you're a hairstylist.
I've never had a real problem with mullets. You know, in fact, I used to cut a lot of them years ago because I was interested in quite experimentals and stuff. But yeah, I don't have an issue with mullets. I think, you know, if you want to wear it as an individual, go for it.
Nothing like the mullet. I think it's another question here too. This is to the master brewer McGarry from Your Mates. Do you have to have a rockin' beard to be a brewer? Is it because most brewers?
Well, McGarry's a brewer and he doesn't have a rockin' beard.
Or you just got.
It might not be a real question. All right, but yours is one colour, and you need to hold on to that. In fact, Matty Hepburn, yours is the same.
I don't call my beard anything special, but I've just had it for a very long time.
I haven't seen his chin before.
No, there's only a couple of people on the Sunshine Coast who have seen Jin.
There's rumours going around about
One of the
it.
guys I went to high school with. And I think actually there's only one guy.
Yeah, right.
His dad, actually.
So only a couple of people have seen your nude nut here with that.
I went to high school with, and his dad, Stan, who actually comes down here every week and helps us on that.
That's the real story. We're bringing bloody retirees out and giving them something to do.
Nice. I like it.
So we're packaging hundreds of cases of beer every week. And it started off with Heppy's dad, Gary, and a couple of his friends.
Gaza, shout out to Gaza.
Shout out to Gaz.
Well, it's all the school teachers.
And the Back 'em Out Boys. And it's evolved into now, it's got its own Facebook group page. When we have canning days, I just put it on there. Hey guys, we're canning on Tuesday and Wednesday this week. Who's available? And they fight each other for the shifts. They do get paid in beer. And,
It's a beer economy.
yeah, circular beer economy.
Beer economy.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
and it gets about like, I'm sure they get out of the house anyway, but they love coming out here and having a yarn, and it just has a great atmosphere.
Well, the great thing too, Christen McGarry, is what you boys have created here for the Pack Out Boys, for the lads, is an extension of the men's shed. Really, because there's a lot of chat going on.
It is girls, as mum's joined in.
There is
Mum's
yes.
getting lonely at home. And
The bloke chat tends to go a bit lower.
She
when
would
they're
be
here, but
absolutely devastated if she didn't get a mention. So it's now the Pack Out crew, not the Pack
the
Out
Pack Out
Boys.
crew.
Yeah.
And that's, so your mum, Mama Leanne,
Mum and her mate
Lazy.
Yeah, they'll argue that efficiencies definitely are. Pack Out girls.
it totally would be.
yeah.
It totally would be. I mean, you know, if you think back to the birth of the Son of God, I mean, had it been three wise women instead of three wise men, you know, the three wise men were almost late for the birth because they didn't stop and ask directions. And they bought really crap gifts, apart from gold, but frankincense and myrrh. You know, at least the ladies would have brought a casserole and some good advice from Mary.
Well, we can't put the cans and drop onto the ground accidentally.
No, the boys.
And when the guys are in there, a lot more of the cans accidentally get dropped.
Shop soiled.
Yeah.
Another question for you guys. I'm not sure who this has come from, but thanks, guys. Could do a call out for hairdressing salon for other salons here on the Sunshine Coast. How do they get involved?
Well, they just need to go to our website, wastefreesystems.com and .au. And
So you are your people. It's not like get their people to call my people. You are your people.
I'm the guy that deals with everything direct. I mean, look, we service right from Gympie to the Gold Coast, and we've got a growing band of salon owners that they really want to be part of it. They love it. They love what we're doing, and we just sort of include them in it, So I'm sure there's plenty of them watching tonight. So I'll put them all out there.
Excellent. And are you looking for any other specific waste products that you could turn your hand to?
Look, I am. I mean, I've got like the guys here, I've got plans for the future. I mean, COVID's sort of put back a few things, but I've got a certification program, green certification program that we're looking at launching, and a pretty huge one next year, which we're hoping to be a global thing. So,
is there like a residential, like at home thing that just everyday people can be using?
Lots of ideas out there, and we're really sort of nutting a few things out at the moment. There's a few things that have come along lately that I'm looking at. I'm quite excited about that's where we're going to move. So from salon owners, they can just ring me direct, and we've got a great community that's just, as I said, growing, and we're really enjoying it.
Is there any opportunity, any room? This is another question that's come in for a partnership, a collab between barbers and beer makers. So you cut our hair and we'll pay you in beer, or no? But
I think we're definitely gonna.
That's my barber. What I'm paying for haircuts, what it is.
And that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah.
It's a beer economy, as we say.
Well, beer economy. Yeah.
I can't get a mullet anymore though. We did have long hair one day.
So you've sort of got a reverse mullet though, haven't you?
Yes. Oh yeah.
I mean, if you actually turned yourself upside down, it would start to look like a mullet.
Well, there's a party in there somewhere.
There is, totally, mate. Hey, no, I'm not. I just wanted to know about moulets, as we call them.
I think, probably you wouldn't, but I think you would, Todd. If you turn you upside down, I think you'd be looking at the reverse mullet as well.
It would be like old ex-AFL footballer Dermot Brereton, even, because there's a bit of curl. There's a bit of curl in my beard. I'm getting handed a few bits and pieces. We've got one more question. livingsmartqld.com.au. Please go to the website tonight as well, everybody. The team at Sunny Coast Living Smart are encouraging us in Plastic Free July to get our kit on. And by that we mean a plastic-free kit. What are you doing when you go to work? You're not using Glad Wrap. How are you packing your lunch when you head to the beach? All those sorts of things. But the website's really important. Please have a look at it sometime tonight. I'm not the boss of you, so maybe you could do it tomorrow. It's up to you. But livingsmartqld.com.au, and just by going on the website, leaving your details and getting involved, we could be sending you whale watching with your family. How good is that? Yes. Again, involving the environment, involving local Mooloolaba tour operators, crafting a circular economy. Another one here, question from Jono, and we're just about to wrap up, everyone. John says, I've seen some breweries using cardboard pack tech. Is this something that you've considered doing?
I think you know a little bit more about the cardboard.
We've looked into it, and we just didn't see a significant benefit from the cardboard. You need to really look at the whole supply chain and how things are actually constructed, and we decided that reusing the pack tech was our best way of reducing our footprint. But there are options out there. We just feel like the pack techs are the best way.
The recycled and reusable.
It's a work in progress, though, isn't it?
I'm impressed with that, really. I love where you're going with it.
And ultimately,
if you can reuse those, that's fantastic.
Reuse things, and I mean that's like
that's like at the height of the pyramid, being able to reuse.
Well, like you mentioned with the biodegradable, you go on the beach and the plastic is that big, it's impossible. So, I mean, we did look at it, and for us, if we can incentivize it, get a schooner, how many pack techs, I mean, we'll be bloody Todd will be bringing his stack in, I know that.
I'm telling you now, this is why we often say, get the crew together, the ladies, the gents, have a couple of beers, and this is where you literally can have a conversation and solve the problems of the world. This
100%.
is the place to do it.
100%.
Please come and have a beer with us soon here at Your Mates Brewing Co. Technology Drive Warana, let's put the plug in there. Because you know what, come and have a beer here, we're doing sustainable stuff, doing incredible things, and Mother Earth will love you for it. And that's like beer for charity. Don't you boys think? Is that a fair call? $100 voucher winner is going to our friend Natalie Tink, the Tinkinator, Natalie Tink from Ray White in Maroochydore. Thanks for getting involved. Thanks for putting the hashtag on. And thanks for joining in the conversation. Conversation number 2 as we talk about crafting a circular economy. We're pretty much done and dusted. Next month, we're heading up the range, everybody, to Brouhaha Brewery in Mullaney. So Matt and the guys will be having us there. Different Matt. That's the other thing. Not only do you have to have a good beer to be a brewer, but you have to be called Matt.
At least one in the business.
At least one.
Yeah, only
Chris.
Or Chris.
Yeah, we've got 2. We've got a Matt and we've got a Chris.
Yeah.
Working for us as well.
Matt and a Chris, and you're Chris for short. So we'd love you to come and join us again, everybody. That date, of course, in a month's time will be Wednesday, the 19th of August. So do you think, Carlos, will we be allowed to have a few people in the brewery then, do you think? Or are we, he's not sure. Because that'd be good to have a bit of a live crew as well. We've got a great audience in tonight for Mexican Wednesday here at Your Mates. A bit of Larry Pale Ale, a bit of Eddie the XPA, a bit of Sally IPA, and some sangria, which you're not brewing, obviously, mate. It's just something they're throwing together. Something special. Bernie Craven, Waste Free Systems, thank you so much for being with us on the couch and in our conversation tonight, mate. Look forward to doing heaps more stuff with you. We know there's a lot going on for you on the Sunshine Coast, and we've told people how to get a hold of you. Waste Free Systems on the internet. Google's amazing, as we said. I mean, I'm impressed with technology and the 3D stuff and that, but I won't be truly impressed until you can get online and download a beer. I think that could be the next thing, boys. Yep. Matty Hepburn and Christen McGarry are the legends who put together Your Mates Brewing. Congratulations on your success, and in particular your engagement in the community, boys. What's next? In 30 seconds, tell me what's happening next.
I mean, I don't know, we just need to brew more beer. McGarry needs to get off his bum, brew some more beer, because I'm sick of him coming up with excuses. No, we've got some cool initiatives. First and forefront, we really do want to spread the message, though. I mean, and thank you, Sunshine Coast Council. Thanks, Todd. I think this is an important conversation. I think it's something that we, as a business, really want to drive. But for us, just spread the good times, I think, and spread the message, sustainability.
We want to look after each other, and we want to look after this beautiful place we live in. And we have a responsibility to do that. You know, we've got 30 staff and an amazing amount of supporters in the community, and we want to set a good example, and we want to lead by example.
Absolutely. We can't wait to see you up the beach, everybody. Very important hashtag, of course, is Circular Shift SC. Let's get that going. So if you're doing some stuff, you're posting on Insta or whatevs, I just sound like a young kid that didn't know. Guest totes, emotes, whatevs, if you're posting, hashtag Circular Shift SC. Can't wait to see you in a month's time, everybody. Wednesday, the 19th of August. As I say, we'll be in Mullaney at Brouhaha Local Brewery. Thanks very much to all of you boys for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
To White House Celebrations, to the Sunshine Coast Business Women's Network as well, and to our buddies at Sunshine Coast Council, to you guys for having us here at Your Mates, and to Carlos and the family. Thank you, Carlos. He's off camera. He's terribly dreamy. Really is. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Thanks for joining us for Date Night on the Couch. We'll see you in a month's time.